So welcome to our diversity awareness training. I'm Nicole Dreyev. This is Hevelina Industrial. Hevelina Erasmus, our industrial psychologist consultant. And we are going to talk about diversity awareness. October is a diversity awareness month. And that's what inspired us to put together this free training session. So just quickly to run through the itinerary, today is going to be a very, very, very informal session. We want mics on and we want you to talk to us and have discussions, share your opinions. It's going to be very inclusive of everyone. So I'm just going to do a quick welcome and introduction, followed by the why. Then we're going to discuss what it is. And then Hevelina is going to go through a local case study. And then we're going to open the floor for a discussion. Like I said in the email yesterday, I hope you guys have lots of talking points, lots of examples of where people weren't included, or where people could be more inclusive. So your ideas, not jot them down throughout the little bit of a session that we're doing first. And then, yeah. Can I get a thumbs up from everyone to see that you can all hear and see us? If you want to do a thumbs up, you just click on the react button up at the top. Okay, there I'm seeing them now. Perfect. Okay, so we'll move on. Okay, so I'm going to show you guys a few videos. Have a look at them. And I'm going to ask you questions afterwards, so you guys need to pay attention. Some lovely beach scene. In a park. Okay. So this is a question for our participants. What did you see in the videos? You can unmute your mic. Today's going to be very interactive. If you do not have a microphone, then you can always just type in the chat. People of different ages. Lemboski, we just showed a variety of videos. And we're asking a few questions about them. Sorry, can't go back and show them again. Savannah says different countries and ethnicities, different ages. What else did you see? It doesn't necessarily need to be about the people. A dog, yes, very definitely. And a bus. Different modes of transport. So at the big intersections, there were different cars and the bus, and there was the tram, people on bikes, different landscapes. Okay. The next question. Sorry, let me just. Yes. What did you not see? So what things were missing? What things would you have liked to see in 4 videos and a diversity and inclusion training? Couldn't see faces, very true. So they were all focused on the movement of people and not their faces. What else could we not see? Only the legs, not the bodies, yeah. Okay. Did you feel like you could be part of any of these videos? Like you were yourself were one of the people walking in the street or in the walkway or on the beach? Savannah says yes. Erastus, do you have maybe any answers? Did you feel like you could be walking on them?
Yeah.
Right. Were there any of them that you felt like you couldn't? Oh, Erastus, yes.
Yes, I could feel I could be part of it and doing something else rather than what they are doing.
Okay, yeah. Good. All right, I see some typing happening. Just so that in the spirit of inclusion and diversity, there are a lot of people who might watch these videos and feel like, I could never go to Europe. So they already, like, they look at it and automatically feel excluded. Or to China. Some people would deliberately choose to never want to go to China. That's something we need to be aware of ourselves and of how we treat others. Is are we excluding ourselves from things, or are we being excluded? When you are in the shops and you hear something that you really like, how does it make you feel? While we wait for everyone else to answer, Hevelina, can you tell me how you feel when you're in the shop and a song comes up that you really like?
For me, I kind of feel a part of the whole thing. So I kind of feel like I belong and I should be shopping in that particular shelf. So that's exactly how I feel like I belong, that I'm supposed to be there.
Ah, I love that. Savannah says it improves her mood and makes her more approachable. Very true.
Yeah.
For me, if I don't understand the lyrics, I feel very lost. Like, what's going on? What are they saying? What could they be saying? So it is important to be able to understand and enjoy the music that you're listening to. It's a very difficult thing to cater to, though, especially in such a diverse country where not everyone speaks the same languages. Okay. And we play music in our own office, and I'm often thinking, you know, I want to play music for everyone's style within the office. And half of the staff go, oh, but you won't like my music.
Yeah.
A lot of people say like they listen to gospel music and then they feel that should be something private. But we're trying to create that inclusive culture where if you listen to gospel music, that's your thing. We want to include you in our music playing in the office. I see Lambowski is also typing. Erastus, do you maybe want to share? Lambowski also says he becomes more, his body language changes and becomes more approachable. So that's very true. We tend to relax, and when we're relaxed and feeling included, then we're definitely more approachable. Just seeing some more typing. Savannah says more likely to purchase things. Very true, and it is a marketing strategy. Yes. All right. So now that was basically a little bit to start the thinking of diversity and why diversity is important. It enhances our adaptability and resilience. Okay. If we're thinking like other people and accepting them for who they are, we adapt more easily into new situations. We accept change more easily because we're aware of different possibilities. And being aware of what other people listen to music-wise can make it easier for us to adapt to completely different situations because we've already been able to adapt to listening to other people's music. Okay. And then for resilience, we've encountered these troubling changes just by thinking about it, just by talking about it, just by hearing about it. And then we're more resilient, more likely to stand up for ourselves and others. It encourages us to learn about uniquenesses about people. We are all different. Even if we can group together with certain features, then each person in that group will still have uniquenesses. And we all need to adapt and learn and appreciate each other's uniqueness. It encourages a growth mindset. Growth mindset is when you believe you can grow and learn. And when you're appreciating everyone's differences, their diversity, their uniquenesses, you're learning. You're learning about new people, about different things. For example, something that's coming up for me is Christmas. I love Christmas. We go into a lot of effort. And I'm always looking for new ideas, and I love listening to what different people do for Christmas. And that's also like a very diverse thing. Very many people do it differently. I come from an English, German, and Afrikaans background. So our Christmas traditions are based on those three, but then there's things like the Advent Fairy that is uniquely our family alone. If someone else has come up with something like that, please let me know. So better decision making. When you're making an inclusive decision and you're looking at the diversity of your group, you're going to make a more inclusive decision, and that's a better decision. You're making everyone in your team feel included and important, and that you are adaptable to them. So definitely there's better decision making happening. Enhances creativity and innovation. People who feel included are more likely to be creative and innovative. Fear of rejection is one of the things that keeps us back a lot for creativity and innovation. And when we're feeling included, we are not as fearful of the rejection. Social cohesion. Getting along with everyone within your diverse group, in your corporates, in your family, in your school, in any kind of environment. Being more inclusive makes people feel more connected to each other. And then very important, accessibility. So I don't know if you guys know much about epilepsy. It can be photosensitive, which means flickering lights can trigger epilepsy. Marua Mall often has flickering lights because they've got thousands of these long, thin light bulbs, and there's always one or two busy dying. Lights flickering like that in front of someone who's epileptic can cause an epileptic attack. So Marua Mall is not necessarily accessible to everyone. And it's just something, if we're thinking of things, and I have not said this yet, but it's really important that we are not experts. No one here is an expert. I don't think there is anyone who gets it perfectly right to be inclusive, because we don't know everything. Like, not everyone knows about epilepsy and that flickering lights is a trigger for them, and that they could die from it. Not everyone knows about type 1 diabetes or thyroid disorders. That both apply to me personally. So I'm not saying everyone needs to be medical experts or diversity experts, just be open to thinking about it. All right, I'm going to hand over to Hevelina.
Okay, so this part, we're just going to speak about what exactly diversity is. So here we're just definitely defining diversity, right? So diversity can be summed up as the following. So this is now recognizing, understanding, accepting, and valuing now the individual differences in terms of, for instance, if it's within your organization, this is now where you recognize, understand, accept, and value those differences. Can be in terms of age, can be in terms of class, in terms of race, ethnicity, gender, physical ability, can be more than that, can be educational background, can really be anything, right? So a definition by Smith and others, they define diversity as the mosaic of people who engage with various groups and organizations, contributing their diverse experiences, personalities, viewpoints, values, and beliefs as advantage. So what this basically means is just that people from diverse groups, people from different backgrounds, come together for one common goal, which is definitely to produce, to be productive or have like an output, right? So Smith also defined diversity as a salad bowl. You know, in a salad bowl, you have like different veggies in there. So at the end of the day, it tastes like perfect in a particular way. So this is how diversity is: people coming together from different backgrounds, people that are different, coming with their individual differences, and just becoming this positive thing, or actually contributing to greater results within now an organization.
Awesome.
Right, so we've already mentioned the advantages of diversity, and Nicole has mentioned it assists with problem solving and decision making. Perhaps one I can touch on is definitely access to the market. So for instance, if you have to make sure that within your organization, or people from your organization kind of correspond to what is out there, what is in the market, what is in society. So we are, for instance, Namibia is a diverse nation already. So you want to make sure that you understand the different cultures, the different languages. So you want to make sure you have, for instance, if you have people working in client services, you want to make sure you have someone who, or people who can speak different languages that can actually communicate to your clients in case they want to communicate in their first language, right? Then we've spoken about creativity and innovation and a positive culture diversity. This is whereby if your organization is known to have this positive culture diversity, you are more likely to attract more talent, right? Because if I see myself in your organization, I'm more likely to, or see my someone who looks like me within your company, I'm more likely to join your company, right? But if I see your team is very homogeneous and probably just consisting of let's say all the males, I'm more likely not to want to join that team, because then it's not diverse enough for me. And then you also realize that especially for millennials and Generation Z, we're going to speak about the generations now. They value diversity a lot, right? And they want to be in organizations that are actually diverse enough for them. Okay, then all of this problem solving, decision making, access to the market, being creative and innovation, there's positive culture, all of this actually just enhances or increases employee productivity and also now team performance. Okay, so Nicole is going to touch now on equality.
Okay, so Oxford defines equality as the state of being equal, especially in status, rights, and opportunities. Equality means ensuring everyone in your setting has equal opportunities regardless of their abilities, their background, or their lifestyle, making sure that everyone has the same opportunity to achieve their dreams. So basically, with equality, we're keeping all things the same. Bursaries are available to everyone, for example. But Evelina is going to touch on equity a little bit, because equality does not necessarily cover everyone. For example, we advertise that we only accept job applications and employment applications online. We live in Namibia, and not everyone has internet connectivity or email connectivity. Someone who is blind cannot use the internet as easily as someone who can use their eyes. We need to see. So these are all things we need to think of on how to improve our equality. Because everyone, we can't believe that everyone has equal access to the internet.
Yeah, so again, equality, which Nicole just spoke about, is everyone has access to the same resources, right? Everyone has an opportunity to apply for a specific position. Let's perhaps not look at AA for now, because AA is now correcting past history, right? Which ties back into now equity, which I'm going to speak about now, right? So equity is definitely not the same as equality. So equality is when everyone have all the same resources, right? Everyone has a fair chance to be whatever they want to be within that particular organization, right? Everyone has fair opportunities. But now that is now equality. Now equity, this is whereby you look at individual needs. So specific people within an organization kind of need more than other people to actually reach the same level as where everyone else is, right? Based on their individual needs and aspirations, this might mean providing more resources and support to some employees to ensure that they are not left behind. For instance, we have women who get their maternity leave for 3 months, right? I mean, equality is that we all have the same job, right? But equity is giving those women 3 months, right, to go on leave, take care of this baby, and then come back. That is like equity. Or equity can also be you do a skills audit in your organization, you identify particular people who need to upskill or they need specific trainings, and then you specifically specify those people with training to reach a certain level where the organization is. That is equity. But in this way, you provide, it seems like you're providing resources to certain people, but not to other, but in a way, you're providing resources to kind of enhance those people, so almost everyone can kind of be at the same level. So that is equity, okay? Nicole will touch now on inclusivity.
First, we're going through to look at this one. So this just shows the injustices that we're currently dealing with. The first picture shows what reality is like. Some people have access to more, get better healthcare, have better housing, have better education, and other people have much, much less. So that's the current reality in most of the world. Equality would be to give everyone exactly the same. But as you can see in the picture, we are not all exactly the same. And getting exactly the same might not help all of us. Then equity is getting what you need to be able to do the job, or to achieve what you need to achieve. In this case, they're looking at watching a baseball match. And the shortest guy gets 2 blocks, the middle guy gets 1, and the tall guy gets none, because he doesn't actually need any. And then finally, justice. So justice, if we can look at like the systems in place in society that are holding people back. One of the things that we often see in the workplace with women is that they still carry most of the household responsibilities, and they're expected to carry those burdens as much as they are expected to carry the burdens of working all day. And so that's a system holding them back because they physically cannot do so much. Other systems holding people back, we can look at racism, what was like deliberately holding people of a different skin color back or Nazi society where the Jews were seen as not part of the Aryan race. And so on and so forth. So that is just a nice little visual that you can see how equity, equality, and justice will play a role in our lives. Any questions? We've been doing a lot of talking for a while now. Thumbs up if you're all good. Okay, so inclusivity is the practice or policy of providing equal access to opportunities and resources for people who might otherwise be excluded or marginalized, such as those having physical or intellectual disabilities or belonging to other minority groups. I love the picture that we chose for this. Recently, we took part in the Nedbank City Dash, and they had a whole division for wheelchair racers. So they had their own starting times, just because if you've got all these people running around, people starting in wheelchairs, that causes a bit of chaos. And so it holistically looked at them and how can we include people who are not able to use their legs in this event. And this one with the two old people looking very happy and excited to be winning a race. I would say they're winning a race. Inclusivity means making sure everyone feels welcome, valued, and respected, no matter who they are or where they come from. Imagine your school or party where everyone is invited and treated fairly, regardless of their background, race, gender, or beliefs. Inclusivity is about creating an environment where everyone can be themselves and contribute their unique perspectives and talents. So also something really important when we go back to the creativity, when people feel included, they really feel willing to put their ideas out there. Okay. So Evelina's going to talk a little bit about diversity within the generations. Over to you.
Oh, thank you, Nicole. Okay, so as we know, in the workforce, we do have different generations, right? So we have the baby boomers who are about to retire. They're from 1946 to 1964. Then we have the Gen Zs, the Gen X, the Generation X, born between 1965 to 1980. We have the millennials. We were born from 1981 to 1996, and then finally we have the Gen Zs who are currently joining the workforce, and they are born from 1997 to 2012. Okay, perhaps just a few characteristics of the different generations. We have the baby boomers, and they are characterized as being workaholics. They are more committed to their roles than any other generations. We know that baby boomers are very loyal to their organizations and to their roles. They value traditional work ethic a lot. They're not really eager to change, but they want to do things as they already used to doing them. And they're also regarded as a generation with excellent mentors and their colleagues, excellent mentors to their colleagues and now juniors, right? Then we have the Generation X, right? So according to studies, apparently Generation X, 70% of the organization believe Gen X are the best overall workers. I don't know when they got this title, but according to the studies, that's what it is, right? And then they are committed to juggling work with family time, so they value work-life balance, right? And Gen X is considered to be the biggest revenue generators overall. So the Gen X at the moment are mostly the directors, the managers, the partners, most in high positions at the moment. And then we have the millennials. So millennials are considered to be very independent workers. They like flexibility. They are for this hybrid working new environment thinking. And they're very much concerned with when it comes to ethics and meaning and what what their organization offered to a social responsibility, right? Then we have this new generation that is joining the workforce at the moment. So this is now the Gen Zs, right? So they are the most tech competent of any generation. They're tech savvy. They're literally born in the technology era, right? They value a lot of diversity and inclusion. They love social media. They're very expressive. Unlike the other generations, they want to they have a different way of motivating themselves compared to the different generations, right? So now looking at all these different characteristics, we have a lot of different people or different generation within one working environment. How do we then, I feel like for the past few years, we've kind of been aligning the organization in terms of, let's say, the baby boomers and the Gen X, right? How do we then make sure that we incorporate the Gen Zs with all these different characteristics, with all these different needs, with all these different things that motivates them? How do we incorporate them into our working spaces, right? Because this is a different generation and things are just changing, right? And the normal policies that are in place are no longer working for the specific generations, right? So I want to show you guys a video that has been circulating around social media at the moment. Just give me a second. So these are two student nurses, and according to the newspaper, they assisted in the birth of a mother, and everything was successful. So they did like a little dance just to celebrate. Okay.
Cute.
Yeah. Okay, so we have seen a lot of times, we have seen on TikTok, we have seen on Facebook, we have seen on Instagram, like nowadays people do a lot of different celebratory videos, and they do a lot of different to express themselves. They do a lot of different ways to motivate themselves at work. But what is happening now, these two students are going through a disciplinary hearing because they did like a dance in their nursing uniforms. So now we just want to know, what are your views on this? Like, how do we, is it right that they are going through the disciplinary hearing, or is there another way to look at this entire thing? So what are your views on this video? You can just unmute yourself or type in the comment section. What do you think? Maybe I should start with Nicole first. Nicole, what do you think?
I love a fun dancing video. I love that they're doing it in the workplace. Like, one of the first things I thought when I heard about this story is like, there must have been something confidential revealed. So we often give cybersecurity training, and then they say, make sure you don't write your passwords on the whiteboards because that might appear in the video. It does not look like there's anything confidential in this video. They're not putting their reputation, their career, the hospital that they work for, nothing appears negative in it. So in my opinion, I would have encouraged them. You know, you're representing us as a hospital, us as an organization really well. So I would not have thought that this is something worthy of a disciplinary.
All right, so Savannah mentioned that knowing from working in a hospital setting, photos and videos are generally not allowed unless you request permission to do so in writing. Hospital managers do not want the possibility of rumors or untrue information being leaked to the media. Okay, so again, patient's privacy and confidentiality is very important. Right, totally understand this. Perhaps,
All valid points.
yes, all valid points. I mean, there should be specific policies that states that certain things are not allowed in hospital settings, right? Okay, but then if we look all around, we've been seeing if you guys remember the Jerusalem challenge, right?
Yeah, Jerusalem challenge.
And
We partnered as well.
yeah, and every company was like kind of doing a video for their organizations. You had like emergency service workers, you had hospital employees, you had everyone doing the dance. And then I feel like after that, we do have a lot of videos circulating of doctors expressing themselves. We have dentists expressing themselves, doing little videos, right? Perhaps my question is just that, is this something that we should normalize? Is this a way of people expressing themselves? Is this a way of us having to change certain policies in terms of as long as you are not definitely putting confidential information out there or putting patients' privacy at risk? Is this something that we are willing to change? Because we are definitely getting this Gen Z, this generation, which is very expressive. And I feel like this is kind of the way how they deal with their stressors and how they get to motivate themselves within their working environment. Is this something that we'll be willing to change, though?
I see Savannah says, what I find working with younger colleagues is that although they may be aware of the various policies and rules, they do not always follow them. And you have to be you have to constantly remind them of these policies and rules.
Yeah.
So that is often a problem with millennials and Gen Zs, that they question authority and question rules, and they are very purpose-driven. And they need to know their own purpose, the purpose of the organization, but also the purpose of policies and procedures. So communicating it to them and having reasonable policies. So you can have a policy, okay, you're not allowed to record a video in a patient's room. You can record a video in a patient's, in the lobby area or in reception. So that's adapting to their needs, but still protecting the company for all the things that they require. It's very, Savannah also adds, it's very challenging getting Gen Z people to adhere to rules and regulations, etiquette as well.
Yeah, definitely.
I fully agree with that. So Evelina mentioned the videos. Jerusalem videos. This is a Mediclinic one.
Jerusalem, ikayalami, ilondoloze.
And look at how fun this one. Very beautiful. So that was the complaints about the previous one. Maybe this one was with permission of the other in a time when everyone was so disconnected, Jerusalem only 4,000 people together. I know it was such a challenge for us to be able to solve our one. But look, they're even doing it with patients.
Dawoyami alikolana uso wami aukolana ilondoloze.
So yeah, okay, this one was with permission. But that's something we're huge advocates of, maybe because we're millennials. But your policies and procedures need to be logical. And if your Gen Zs and your millennials are resisting it, they might have a valid reason. And if they feel that they can advocate for themselves, because we are in this millennia of information, okay, where we have so much access and we know so much and we see how things work in other parts of the world. 40 years ago, you wouldn't have seen that. I mean, I think it was 40 years ago that you didn't even have TV in South Africa, or you had very limited access to television. You didn't really see things that were happening in Europe or America. So you didn't have access to that knowledge. And now we do. We have access to YouTube, which has basically everything. We are limited sometimes with countries, apparently. Not too much, though. Yeah. Does Erastus or Lombowski, do you want to share something with us as well?
Not from my side, Nico.
No? All right.
Not now.
All right. I hope you guys are enjoying it at least.
We're very much enjoying it.
Good. Good. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm good. Yes, very much. Yeah, because I think at the end of the day, it's very important that we do make sure that the new generation also follows the policies and procedures and the rules, but we also at the end of the day have to make sure that we also include them in our policies and procedures and just make sure that they feel they belong and they feel included, right? Because a lot of our policies are very much based on the earlier generation. So it's I believe that it's also time that we kind of when it comes to now inclusivity and equity.
Hi guys, sorry, just as we were finishing off, then the internet disconnects us. All right, do you guys have anything else you'd like to share? Hi, Lemboski. Unfortunately, our internet disconnected, so we have to make an alternative plan to connect us. Well, thank you guys for your time today. If you have no more questions, comments, suggestions, do you have any stories about diversity that you'd like to share with us? Things you've seen where you thought, oh, that's not fair to that person.
Mm.
Or maybe they could do this to be more inclusive of people with different abilities.
And maybe if we can just remember that we are trying to be as inclusive as we can, but I mean, it's also impossible at times. But as long as we are all trying to be inclusive of everyone, of everything, then I feel like at least we are all managing diversity very well. But again, it's very impossible to include every single person because people are very different. And sometimes it just doesn't work. But that when it comes to diversity has more advantages compared to the negative impact of it, right? So if we are aware of diversity, then I feel like that's a good start.
What do you think the negative effects of being more inclusive are?
Okay, so so the negative impacts of being more inclusive, for instance, if you're in a team in a very diverse team, you have people with different viewpoints, people with different perspectives. So coming to a solution is going to be very difficult, right?
That's true. I hadn't thought of that one yet.
So that is like one negative aspect of diversity because it's not so of a homogeneous group. It's a diverse group, so coming to just that one point gets to be very difficult.
Savannah added here, we have quite a diverse staff complement. We have people from different countries, cultures, and also different levels of experience. And we welcome everyone's input with different perspectives and ideas. Mm-hmm. It's lovely to hear that welcoming the different perspective and ideas. And like Evelina said, we can't include everyone because like that's impossible. We wouldn't get anything done. But just being there and being willing to hear and being open to suggestions is lovely.
Yeah.
Anything else from your side?
No, I'm glad we're a diverse group. 3 ladies, 2 males. Yeah. So yeah, hopefully we get a male individual to also join us in these trainings very soon.
Yeah, get a different perspective.
Yeah.
On all the things, all the soft skills that we give training on.
Yeah.
Right. So thank you guys so much. We really enjoyed your company, your ideas, your thoughts. We will be sharing this online, so you can go back and watch the recording or share it with people that you want to have more thoughts and conversations about diversity and inclusions. And I challenge you today to have a conversation with someone about diversity and inclusion and where we can be more inclusive. We are daily fighting big battles against racism. And there has been some real change all over the world, but inclusivity is much more than just that. It's including everyone. So start thinking about it, thinking about how you can include others in things who normally couldn't. I'm glad you enjoyed it, Savannah. I hope Lembowski and Erastus also enjoyed it. And see you at the next training.
Nicole, we really enjoy it, and it's a big portion of it It's not just where diversity as it is. It include a lot. So we need more of such training in future as well.
Thanks, Erastus.
You're welcome.
All right. Yes, I'm going to end the recording now. Thanks, guys.
All right. Have a lovely day.
Thank you. Bye.